Welcome to The Explainer. What if I told you that an ancient story, 5,000 years old, held the key to winning the battles you're facing in your life right now? Today, we're cracking open the Bhagavad Gita, not as some dusty old text, but as a practical, modern playbook for your own inner war. All right, let's get into it.
So to really get the Gita's wisdom, we have to start right where the action is, with its main character's big epic crisis. Because you'll see, the thing that brings this whole story to a halt thousands of years ago, it's not just ancient history. It's a perfect mirror for the kind of stuff we wrestle with every single day.
I mean, seriously, have you ever felt this? You play by the rules, you climb the ladder, you check all the boxes for success, but that feeling of real deep fulfillment, it's just not there. Well, guess what? You're not alone. This is the exact problem that brought the hero of the Gita, the legendary warrior Arjuna, to his knees. Okay, so picture this. It's the morning of a huge, world-changing battle. Arjuna, who's basically the greatest warrior of his generation, is in his chariot, ready to go, but when he looks across the field, he doesn't see a faceless army. He sees his cousins, his beloved teachers, his own grandfather, the very people who raised him. And in that moment, he just breaks.
And listen to that description. Parched throat, sweaty hands, his legendary bow slipping. See, this isn't a soldier who's scared of dying. This guy's a pro. He's faced death 100 times. No, this is something deeper. This is the existential terror of having to destroy everything you love, of violating your own soul. It's that same gut-wrenching paralysis we feel when what we have to do goes against everything we are.
And right here, this is the pivot. This is the moment the whole story flips, because Arjuna's guide and charioteer, the divine Lord Krishna, looks at him and basically says, "You're fighting the wrong war. The real enemy isn't out there on the battlefield. The real battle is happening inside you." And, this one shift in focus, it changes everything.
So Krishna points to the real enemy. He calls it a root thought pattern. Think of it like a piece of faulty code, a software bug that got installed in your head when you were a kid. It's that voice, born from some early moment of fear or powerlessness, that whispers, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm not safe," or "I always mess things up." And that one little program starts running your entire life, usually without you even realizing it. And the story uses this incredible metaphor for it. The enemy army, the Kauravas, they represent those negative patterns. They're all about self-doubt, greed, and denial. And Arjuna's side, the Pandavas, they stand for our higher self, the part of us that wants to live with purpose, with dharma. So the war on the battlefield is really just a picture of the choice we all have to make. Which army gets to run your inner world? So the Gita isn't just telling a story. It's shouting a warning across the centuries, directly to us. It's saying, hey, pay attention. If you let those root patterns of fear and self-doubt run your life, you are setting yourself on the same path of destruction as the bad guys in this story. The Gita is begging us to choose a different path.
Okay, so if the enemy is inside us, what exactly are we fighting for? What's the prize? Well, this is where Krishna drops a truth bomb so massive, it completely shatters Arjuna's view of himself, of life, of everything. And it's designed to do the same for us.
Krishna tells Arjuna, basically, stop worrying about the body, about all this physical stuff. He says that what you really are, your true self, your consciousness, it's indestructible. You can't cut it, you can't burn it, you can't get it wet. It's permanent, it's eternal, it exists beyond all this physical drama.
And this leads to something even more radical. Krishna just comes right out and says it, there is no such thing as death. Not really. What we call death, he says, is just the soul taking off a body like you'd take off a worn-out coat. The body goes, but the real you, it just keeps going forever.
And here it is, the ultimate reveal. Krishna looks at this broken, despairing warrior and tells him, your whole idea of who you are, this small, weak, fearful person, that's the illusion. That's the root pattern talking. The truth? Your real nature isn't just a tiny piece of the divine. It is divine. You are God. You're not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a single drop.
All right, so you are God. That's a pretty big concept to swallow. But the amazing thing about the Gita is that Krishna doesn't just leave Arjuna there. He doesn't just drop this cosmic truth and walk away. He says, okay, now here's how you live it. He gives him a practical toolkit to win that inner war and reach a state called completion.
And this toolkit is built on 4 core principles, or tattvas. They're like building blocks. First is integrity. You make what you say real. You align your words with power. That leads to authenticity. You align your inner thoughts with your greatest self. From there, you build responsibility. You own your life, your feelings, everything. And all that flows into the final principle, enriching, where your life naturally becomes about giving back and contributing.
Now, it's so important to get this. These aren't just feel-good ideas or positive affirmations. The Gita presents them as 4 massive, dormant powers inside you. When you practice integrity, you literally unlock the power of your words to create your reality. When you practice authenticity, you harness the power of your own mind. This is the actual work. This is how you consciously rewrite those old buggy programs and win the war.
So let's say you do it. You use this toolkit, you practice these principles. What happens? What does victory actually feel like? Well, your entire perspective on reality flips. The universe stops feeling like this random, hostile place, and it turns into something completely different.
And this quote just nails it. When you take real responsibility, and remember, that isn't about taking the blame, it's about taking your power back. Everything changes. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a helpless drop being tossed around by the ocean and realize you are the ocean, you go from being a victim of your life to the creator of it. And suddenly, the universe starts to feel like it's on your team. And the prize for winning this inner war, it's huge. That crippling fear and attachment that had Arjuna in a panic, it just dissolves. You start to act with a clear sense of purpose, like you're a main character in a beautiful, divine game. The universe doesn't seem hostile anymore. It feels like a friendly, intelligent partner. This isn't just about feeling a little happier. This is what the text calls Jivan Mukti. This is living enlightenment, right here, right now.
So we end up right back where we started, on the battlefield. In the story, Krishna grabs the reins of Arjuna's chariot and steers him to victory. And this explainer has to leave you with one final question. You're on the battlefield of your own life, every single day. So, who's driving your chariot? Is it your old root patterns of fear and doubt? Or are you ready to pick up the reins and drive yourself toward the incredible, divine being you're meant to be?